are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Oh, what is that? What is that voice?
Oh, I have a new affectation. It's very fancy.
The aristocrats.
And then and then he diddled her eye socket. The aristocrats.
Oh, what a joke. Hey guys, welcome to Dude That's Fucked Up. I'm Erin.
I'm Nicole.
This is a podcast about weird stuff.
Weird, random,
fucked up,
just fun stuff. Like fun fucked up.
Fun fucked up.
Yeah.
We're not trying to get too wild here.
No. What business do we have?
I don't know. Go to the Patreon.
Yeah. Check out the Patreon.
Patreon.com/DTFU podcast.
We were just talking about how like proud we are that like the content we put on there is like so high quality, which it is. I'm not even being sarcastic right now.
No.
Like we put a lot of effort into like the episodes that like the bonus episodes we put out.
Yeah.
We do 2 a month. We do a bonus episode and then we do a commentary episode where we like comment on things that have happened on the podcast or that we've cut out.
Yeah, we do like the like kind of BTS like behind the scenes.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Sort of.
You're
I guess.
so industry right now.
I know. Yeah, a hot BTS about stuff that we've already talked about, which it's cool. I don't know.
A hot BTS sounds like some sort of like analogy for like a poop sex act.
I think it sounds like a delicious sandwich.
Oh.
Like a grilled, like panini. A bacon, tomato, and sausage. I don't know. But yeah, also a weird, like, scat act.
A scact?
A scact. Oh, my Lord Jesus.
You said panini. You didn't say it funny. I don't want to be like, you just said it how it's said, but
panini.
I've never noticed what a weird word that is.
It's not the best.
Panini.
It's kind of a silly word.
Yeah.
I feel like an asshole whenever I order a panini. I was flying back from Seattle this weekend and yesterday, and I ordered a panini for for the flight.
Yeah.
For my meal on the flight.
Yeah, flight panini.
Because you never know if they're going to run out of food. They run out of food all the time.
And it's gross.
And it's not the best.
Yeah.
So I was ordering a panini, and I was like, yeah, it like doesn't feel great coming out of your mouth. It's like, ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh. Well, that's a fun one.
Well, that's what I'm eating. So
cool. A hot BTS. Can I get a hot BTS panini? Thank you. Oh shit.
Extra B, extra T, extra S.
Yeah. Make sure that's a spicy S. Okay, well that's all the business, I guess. Anything else?
Business and more. No. I don't think so.
Well, do you have anything fucked up this week?
No, I just like my I don't know if you follow me, and I'm not talking to you. I know you follow me on Instagram, but I don't know if people listening follow me on Instagram. You're welcome to. It's at @nmackey. But I have been having an obsession with oat milk, and it's like the only thing I've Instagram storied. I've been like polling people and like, I don't know. My Instagram stories are very weird, but Mandy Moore drinks it. And I was like, what the fuck is oat milk? That bougie bitch. And I was like, but it sounds good. So I'm going to try it.
That shit's good.
Dude, I just ordered a case of it. 12.
What? From where?
I don't know. Pete found it on some like underground barista website or something because it's sold out everywhere. It's like really hard to get.
Bitch, you can make that shit.
Yeah, but that's hard.
It's not that hard. You just soak oats overnight and like get the fucking strain it, and I don't know.
Oh.
There's like, it's like not that hard.
Well, this oat milk is
but
like the
artisanal oat milk is probably what you want.
Okay, this is fancy ass oat milk. It's the
Oh my
barista
God.
edition. So they add some sort of like chemical, I don't know, an enzyme or something to it that makes it like frothy, like it froths up really nice,
Ooh.
like real milk. And then
Yeah.
it doesn't taste, like how almond milk, it has like
Yeah.
a weird, like soy milk doesn't taste great. Almond milk has, it's okay, but it sometimes has a weird flavor depending on like what you put with it. And then coconut milk just tastes like fucking coconuts.
Yeah.
Oat milk is like very clean tasting. It's like the most,
Yeah.
I feel like it blends in the most like a regular milk. Anyway, I've just been living it up, drinking oat milk and everything, and it's been a blast.
I'm happy for you. I also am on the train of not drinking like real milk because I'm lactose intolerant.
Yeah.
And I'm a big coconut almond
The blend.
milk. The blend.
That's my second favorite. First is oat milk. Second is coconut almond.
I think I'm gonna get on the oat milk train.
Oh, dude, this shit. You know what? You got to find it and order it. Granted, I bought a case of it, so it was like $70. But when you work out the math,
Oh my God, Jesus Christ.
when you work out the math, it's like $5 or something. I don't know what the math is, but Pete said it wasn't that bad. Like long term, we've already gone through one of them and I just got it on Friday. So
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Is it like a gallon?
no, it's like a liter.
A liter.
It's
yeah.
small. And I don't
Alright.
use that much, but man, is it tasty. But we've been putting it in stuff and
I think oat milk
Smoothies.
is the next big like substitute
Yeah.
milk. Like that's gonna start being more mainstream, I think.
it's very good.
Soon. We'll see.
Anyway, now you know what, Mandy Moore, watch your back, because I'm a bougie bitch now, and a boozy one. Not today,
Yeah.
but sometimes. But bougie. I'm very bougie.
You're boozy and bougie.
I'm bouzougie.
Bougie.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Thank you.
That's nice.
yeah. What's going on with you?
Well, in the same vein of like health, I guess. I just was at the dentist this morning,
Oh.
and I actually really enjoy the dentist. I know that a lot of people hate it, and for good reason. Like if you have like fucked up teeth, like it's not fun and it hurts.
Yeah.
But I really enjoy it. So I was at the dentist, and a thing that happens that I don't think a lot of people are aware of when you're pregnant, aside from all the like typical stuff that you hear about, like being, you're uncomfortable, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Well, your body is producing like way more blood than it typically does when you have a fetus inside of you. So your gums bleed really easily.
Oh.
Despite like flossing regularly and taking care. Like it's crazy. So I'll just be like brushing or flossing my teeth like normal, and my whole mouth will just fill up with blood. It's disgusting. So at the dentist today, it was a fucking bloodbath.
Oh my God.
It was so gross. Like it was real bad. And so I had to like keep taking breaks to like spit while they were like, they scrape
Sucking
your
it out.
gum line.
Yeah.
And it was just like a lot of blood, and it was real gross. And and I love my dentist. Like they're the best. They're so great. And they're so gentle. And it was a great appointment aside from the bloodbath.
Yeah.
But afterwards I was like super nauseous because I think I like probably swallowed a bunch of blood.
Ew.
Yeah. Yeah. It was not great. So I had to like walk it off for a while. I was like, ugh.
I wonder
Like I had to like get right,
if you would have thrown up on the street or something, you would have thrown up a bunch of your own blood that you had just swallowed. People probably would have
Yeah.
been like, SARS, or like,
Yeah. Like 28 days later, this bitch is about to eat somebody's face.
patient zero. Oh my God.
Yeah. And then think that I'm like pregnant with a little like zombie baby. I don't know.
Well, you don't
It
know
could
yet.
happen.
Yeah.
I don't.
What? It might, if your baby comes out and just looks you in the eyes, like, get rid.
Like Locke's eyes. Yeah. Because they're like blind, sort of. They like can't see shit
It's
for
like,
a while.
hello, Clarice, or something.
Yeah.
Just be like, I'm good, thanks. You know what? Why don't you guys keep it?
I don't think that would unsettle me as much as a baby coming out with a full set of teeth.
Fair. That's a very fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's
speaking
like
of
a disorder,
teeth,
right?
I feel like it would. I don't know.
It's a
I
thing that
think-
happens.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
that's disturbing. I hope that doesn't happen.
Oh, yeah, it's real scary.
Creepy. Well, yeah. Speaking of the dentist, yeah.
Oh,
I
God.
hope that doesn't happen. Just gnawing through its umbilical cord.
It cuts its own umbilical cord, like on Coneheads.
Yeah. Oh, I love that movie so much.
Oh, it's so good.
So great.
I love when the like daughter eats the Subway sandwich, all like mom, and Chris Farley's just like, whoa, his like head's ready to explode.
It's like he's a visual boner.
Yeah,
He has a full body boner.
he's a chub.
Yeah.
Ah,
Oh my God. Speaking of chubs, I don't know. No,
I'm like, well, how is this working in? Oh,
Well,
ew. Oh God,
yeah.
why?
I'm sorry.
Okay, can I issue a warning?
Yeah, this
This isn't going to be the focus of today's topic, but it's
No.
related. I mean, it's the
Yeah.
catalyst. We're going to be talking a little bit about Hulk Hogan's dick. We don't want to, but we're doing y'all a public service because
his dried cured beef jerky dick.
his Slim Jim. Or, no, it's more like a thick and short Jim.
I think it's
Thick
like
and
one of those,
wide.
like, you know, like a little like cocktail weenie that's been left in the sun for too long.
In the crock pot.
Yeah, it's just
The barbecue
all the
sauce
moisture.
is boiled down and it's like into like a sticky paste and like the little wieners are like dried in there. Have you? Okay,
Oh my God, dude.
do it.
Okay, well, what we're talking about today,
Yeah.
this is something that is near and dear to our hearts.
Yeah.
Not Hulk Hogan's dick, but
That's not anywhere near there.
no, it's about the fall of Gawker.com, basically.
Rest in peace, Gawker.
R.I.P. Gawker. If you guys don't know what Gawker is, we'll get into it in a second. But it's basically we're going to talk about how the website and what it meant to us personally, and how it was a news media company. It still is sort of.
Gawker Media exists, but Gawker as
.com.
a publication does not exist. But all the sister publications
Are still around.
are still
yeah.
around. Yeah,
And you've
Gizmodo, Jezebel.
Yeah. Yeah, you've probably heard of all of them. But yeah, so we're just going to talk and then about how and why Gawker.com went the way of the dodo
Yeah.
and is out of business. So yeah, it has to do with
It
Hulk
dried
Hogan.
up like a cocktail wiener out in the sun.
Yeah, it sure did.
And then a bird
sure
ate
did.
it, and then had diarrhea, and then it died. And now you can't find Gawker anymore.
Yeah. It's all archived though.
Yeah.
So I got a lot of my information on the topic from a Netflix documentary called Nobody Speak. It came out last year, I think, and it kind of chronicled the whole to-do around this lawsuit that Gawker got into with Hulk Hogan. So it's super interesting, and it was really, it goes into a lot of stuff, but it mainly talks about Gawker.
Yeah, that's like the whole first half of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it kind of goes off, and we'll kind of talk about that. But so yeah, let's get into it a little bit. So yeah, Gawker used to be one of my favorite websites.
Same.
It was started out as an independent news gossip website it was created by an internet entrepreneur named Nick Denton. And then it evolved like over time into a legit news organization where they'd get scoops and like talk about stuff, but it was like kind of all like sort of celebrity based,
Yeah.
like kind of gossipy.
Yeah.
It never got like too, I don't know. It did get into politics a little bit, but they have separate sister publications for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they covered. I feel like I mean, I don't know if this is like fair, but it's kind of like how BuzzFeed News is, like in a way.
Well, but BuzzFeed News is a legit branch like they have a legit branch where they do like long form journalism, investigative journalism. That's like really, really like well done. Because when people think of BuzzFeed, they think listicles and, garbage articles.
Yeah.
But they actually have invested a lot of money into this separate portion of their media company. And they've hired like really, really legit journalists to do stories about important things. So it's not all garbage.
Well, oh no, it's not all garbage. I mean more like you think you when you first think of it, you don't think, oh, this is like New York Times journalism,
right?
But they're still journalists doing like they have sources that they're following up on, and it's still real journalism. It just maybe the topics can be like a little bit more salacious than something the New York Times would write about.
And they also use a lot of and this is like what actually ended up getting him in trouble. They used a lot of tactics that would not be considered like the standard of good journalism, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Because they get into some salacious and kind of unspeakable topics. That not a lot of people were reporting on, and the way that they would have to get some of that information was through like kind of sketchy sources sometimes, and so, but they were doing some things. They were doing some good work out there. Mm-hmm. They were exposing assholes all the time.
Yep.
Like they exposed Bill O'Reilly for being a fucking asshole and like kind of predator.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They also were one of the first media outlets to report in depth on Bill Cosby's rape accusations. Mm-hmm. They got into the weirdness of Tom Cruise and Scientology's recruiting tactics. I remember they wrote a really, really good article about a woman who, like, women, they basically audition women to date Tom Cruise.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah. They wrote about lots of stuff like that where, people weren't really talking about it. But I think because, like, Nick Denton was a very well-connected, like, man in the world of high-profile people. But, like, also, like, a little bit in the underbelly. He, like, was able to, connect to some of these sources and stuff. And was willing to talk about these things because it was interesting.
Yeah, they were going after stuff that like a lot of people didn't really want to touch sometimes.
Yeah.
And this is like well before Me Too, obviously, and anything like that. So, there was like still a lot of like very behind the scenes, like hush hush kind of shittiness happening, but they were kind of unraveling some of this stuff before they got shut down. Oh, the Gawker Stalker.
Gawker Stalker was little, not like almost like blind items about celebrity sightings and like happenings in New York City.
Yes, and that's kind of how they first started, right? Or was that just part of it?
I think they started through Gizmodo, and then then Gawker started. But Gawker Stalker, I think, helped kind of tie everything into like the world of celebrity. I feel like that's why Gawker wasn't really taken so seriously, like, among some of the other things. But, like, it was always just kind of, like, had that celebrity angle to it, And it's kind of like people don't really take that, take that super seriously.
They didn't take it seriously until, like, they realized how deep and gross it was.
Yeah.
Kind of like how we were talking about last episode about how people just don't want to know about it.
Yeah.
People don't want to hear kind of the gross, weird stuff, but we have to.
I want to hear it.
I want to hear it. Yeah. I want to know. I want to know who's a dirtbag.
Yeah.
I have no problem, like, being a fan of somebody and then not being a fan of somebody.
Yeah. No, same.
like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have no problem being like, oh, well, I'm never going to watch anything of theirs again, or I'm never going to support anything they do again. Fuck them.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that.
You should be like, you could be good at your job, but you should also try your hardest to be a decent human being. And if people find out that you're not, fuck you. No one needs you. There's plenty of room. there's plenty of other people to take your place. So
Hell yeah. There's so many talented people in this world that
Yeah.
are just waiting in the wings to tell their story that aren't complete and total scumbags.
yeah,
So,
totally.
yeah. So yeah, they had a lot of crazy stories that they would cover, and they had they had some stuff that was kind of annoying, not the best. Like they had a lot of they were like some of the first clickbait like articles to come out. They figured out how to I think they almost invented clickbait.
Oh, interesting take.
I don't know.
But I think it wasn't clickbaity because they would talk about that shit. Like, you know how
Well, of course, but like the way that they'd phrase some of it, it was just like
Yeah.
holy fucking shit.
yeah.
They were one of the first media outlets to kind of make it so that you were like, oh, I better click on this.
Yeah.
But it usually lived up to its promise
Yeah.
of what the clickbait was. But some people found that annoying. They also were very snarky.
Oh,
Like
so good.
very like the writers were very snarky, very mean sometimes. But like some of these people that they were talking about were assholes and deserved to be kind of shit on. But
Yeah.
who's to say? Yeah, it could be really, really mean. And they also, the thing I think I miss the most about Gawker.com is their comment section.
Oh, same. I feel like I would skim the articles, like especially towards
yeah.
the end, because it was too mean. Sometimes, like I'd be like, ugh, this is a little cringy. I'd skim the article and then I'd go straight to the comments, and there were like people that would comment that I like. They were like my favorite commenters. Do you know what
Yeah.
I mean? And
Yeah.
you'd look for their comments on all the articles that were like trending or whatever, like popular that day. And man, I would spend hours reading the comments, and they kept changing like the system. Remember when they switched to Kinja? What like a shit show it was? People were so fucking pissed.
Oh my God, it was like a whole to do.
Yeah, it was because like the commenting system was different, and people were like just upset about it, and you had to log in and all this stuff, and
Yeah.
shit was
It
crazy.
it was crazy. Yeah. So one of the best/worst comment sections on the internet.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'd spend hours in there just reading and dying laughing.
Oh my
Like
God.
I would screenshot so many
Yeah.
so many comments that were so funny. Just so good.
Same.
Just so many smart people in there doing things. And then they just had these amazing writers too, who have gone on since to like write for other publications and do great things.
Yeah.
Katie Weaver is one of my all-time favorite writers. She writes now for GQ, but she was a writer for Gawker for a while, many years. And one of my favorite things she ever wrote was the TGI Friday endless apps thing she did. She literally sat in a TGI Fridays in like Long Island or something for like 11 or some odd hours eating mozzarella sticks the entire time. And she just I keep wanting to say chronicalizes, but that's not, I don't even think that's a word.
No, it's just she chronicled.
She chronicled the
Yeah.
whole experience.
Yeah.
And it's just incredible. And if you ever get a chance to read it, it's archived online and it's great.
I loved it because I think wasn't she like, is this a real thing? Are they gonna let me sit here? Because it was like all you can eat apps. It was like a deal they were doing or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and since she's written that, after she came out with that article, other very prominent publications wrote about that article.
About her writing that article.
About her writing that article. Like seriously, like Business Insider, 538, Slate, MTV,
Oh my
Orange County
goodness.
Register, and a bunch more like just nationwide publications wrote about her writing that article. It was super meta. It was great.
Oh my gosh. Probably because, like, well, you can't send someone to do the same thing. You'll look lame because someone's already done it. But it's such like
Yeah.
a funny, weird thing for them to do. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just like really original and silly. And I really loved her writing style. She was very funny. She is very funny.
Yeah.
I haven't written anything or read anything she's written in a while, but because I'm not a GQ subscriber.
no, I wish she wrote for a female, like a more female publication. We need
Yeah, or like even something, I don't know, like I
in the
Vanity Fair or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
She could do it. Yeah. Okay. So that's a little bit of background on Gawker itself, Gawker.com itself. And I'm sure a lot of people out there don't never like Gawker, didn't care for it. And I actually ended up like unsubscribing from like updates from Gawker because sometimes it get to be too much. I'd be like, oh, this shit is mean. But
fair.
I enjoyed it very
same.
much. Yeah. So that's a little background, and they ended up having this thing befall them that they didn't think too much of at the time, because they'd done so many articles and broke so many salacious news stories that the thing that derailed their whole publication was something. It was not. It was very salacious and very gross.
Yeah.
And that was the Hulk Hogan sex tape that they reported about. So they were always talking about celebrities doing gross shit, but they went a little bit too far with the Hulk Hogan sex tape.
And this was the era of celebrity sex tapes. Like somehow so many were coming out. So it was like,
yeah, this was when was this? This was like this was like 2014. This wasn't that long ago.
oh yeah,
When this happened, when this came out.
you're right.
But before that, they had posted stuff before about sex tapes.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
And it wasn't ever like that. Everybody was like, okay, gross, whatever, move on. And what would usually happen is that the person who leaked the sex tape would get in trouble, and it would never be on them.
Wait, this happened in 2012.
2012,
I think.
sorry.
Yeah. But still, I mean, like,
still.
Kim K's had already been out in Paris and all these other people.
Yeah, it wasn't like the end of the world.
Yeah.
But with Hulk Hogan, a.k.a. Terry Bollea, that's his real name.
Yeah.
He didn't love it.
No. Oh.
He was caught on tape basically having sex with his best friend's wife.
Yeah. Which, okay, I remember when all this went down because he was on Howard Stern. Okay, so his best friend was Bubba the Love Sponge, who is...
don't know who that is, don't care.
He's like, okay, he's like a shock jock type kind of guy in Florida, and he would call into Howard Stern's show all the time, and I think maybe they had like a relationship. So I remember like a lot of this going down.
Isn't he like the one that... so I think in the Netflix documentary, he would do like crazy shit on his radio where he'd like he was gonna burn a Koran on the radio.
Oh, yeah,
and
maybe.
the CIA was like, don't do that.
He's like not very smart.
No. I mean, he's chose the name Bubba the Love Sponge for himself.
That's
so
gross.
Yeah, it's not.
Why just call yourself Jizz Rag or like that's what that is, right?
Good God. I mean, yeah, that's what I think of.
Okay, so him and Hulk Hogan are best friends. What a pair.
Sure.
And I think I remember after all this going down, because it divided their friendship, because it was first assumed that someone random leaked the tape. Then it was, Hulk Hogan didn't realize anyone was recording him. Then Bubba the Love Sponge is like, no, you knew you were being recorded. I wanted you to sleep with my wife. Like, it was like a kink thing.
Yeah.
So, like, then it was found out that, like, everyone was in on it. So there was, like, they were always calling in, like, especially Bubba the Love Sponge to Howard's show and, like, talking about this as it's going down until they couldn't talk about it because of the lawsuit.
Yeah, because of the lawsuit. Well,
Yeah.
and Hulk Hogan even went on Howard Stern and, like, talked and joked about it. Like, everybody was joking about it.
Yeah.
It was all, haha, weird, gross, funny.
Like, oh,
TMZ.
we did it, but, like, it was, like, fun, and everybody was in on it.
It was, like, consensual on every level.
Yeah.
And, but then, like, and I think like TMZ like had it. Everybody was talking about it, but for some reason, Gawker published a portion of the sex tape, like the actual sex tape.
Which, did you ever watch it?
No, fuck no.
Okay,
God damn it.
I didn't either, but I remember reading all the comments about his dong, and I was just like upset. I don't know.
What were the comments?
I feel like people were talking about it being like a Coke can. Like it was like short and thick.
Like very chody.
Yeah, very chody. And I was like, that's enough. I don't need to see that.
I don't want to visualize it. I don't want to have it in my brain.
Also, I don't ever want to look at a celebrity sex tape. I feel like it's an invasion most of the time. Like someone sells it and the other person's not involved. I think maybe in this instance, like everyone was involved. Maybe, I don't know. It's hard to tell. I mean, people say what they say about it, but
if you're gonna be involved in this and like try to figure out a way to make some money off of it at least.
For sure.
You know?
Like definitely sell it. Like
sell it. Like didn't I mean who made like Paris Hilton made money off of hers, right? So did Kim.
So.
Didn't Kim?
I mean, yes, she's made billions off of that.
Yeah,
that was the catalyst of her career.
It's true. But yeah, so I don't know. Like the whole thing was very weird and gross, and people were like kind of horrified. Mildly horrified, I guess, is the right.
Yeah, mildly. Like, if they cared about it, they're, like, kind of horrified. But most people didn't care. My feeling about it is, maybe just post some, like, grainy stills of it where you can't see genitals. I'll believe you have it. I don't need to see it. And you don't need to post that for anyone to see it. You can still say it exists and here's some, like, proof, but no one needs to see a clip of it.
Yeah. Yeah. It was... Ugh.
But if you're listening and you did watch it, please... post like a description of it in the page.
Please send us your thoughts and feelings about it.
And your comparisons of what it looked like.
You sick bitch.
In the best way. You know what? You have courage. That's courage.
You are courageous.
But also, you're a sick bitch.
Oh my God. So Gawker posted some of the footage, like the sick bitches they are. And so Terry / Hulk Hogan's lawyer sent a cease and desist. Mm-hmm. Of course, they didn't take it down because everybody's laughing about it, making jokes, they're getting clicks. Everybody's not enjoying it, but it's still people. I don't know what
some people might.
Some people might. I don't know. But yeah, everybody's like laughing about it. He's laughing about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
he doesn't seem to be that affected by it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they do send the cease and desist. And then after a while, Hulk Hogan and his lawyer, oh my God.
Did you just read what I wrote?
Yeah.
Okay.
His lawyer,
David Houston, in this documentary, you guys have to watch it just to see his hair.
He looks like a reptilian with
a wig.
With a wig on.
A blonde,
it's so creepy.
A bad blonde, and it looks like Helen Keller cut the wig. Like, it is, so choppy. But it's just like a hairpiece, I think. I can't tell, but it's not real. It's not right.
It can't be.
No.
The hair looks synthetic. Like, it's not even a good wig.
It's not a lace front. It is.
No. Oh, fuck no. It's like low on his forehead. I don't even know what the fuck it is.
Oh my God. If it was on,
it's bad.
If it was on RuPaul's Drag Race, people would be like, what shower did you unclog to put that on top of your head? Because it is a fucking mess.
It is a mess. It's a very big mess on his head. Yeah. So his lawyer, based on, I'm sorry to pass judgment on looks alone, but this guy doesn't seem competent, but I don't know.
How can you be a competent lawyer and have that hair? You just can't. I agree. I'm in full agreement.
He's exercising very poor judgment with his hairpiece, so I can't imagine that he's a good lawyer.
The only defense he knows is insanity.
The only defense he has is, I don't know. I don't know. He has no defense. There's nothing you can say about this that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, but that aside, they decide together that, or the lawyer does, that it's a violation of not Hulk Hogan's, who's a character, not his privacy, but a violation of Terry Bollea's privacy. And Hulk Hogan as a character has gone on Howard Stern and laughed and joked about it. But in private, as Terry, he's torn up. He's sad about it, which, of course, like a public persona, you could put on airs and be whatever, but in private, like maybe this really did bother him. But I just don't know why you would go out as Hulk Hogan and be, like laughing and joking about it.
Dude, that defense is crazy to me. Like that they would even allow like that
as an
like,
argument.
Oh, well, that's my persona. It's like, but you're a human person and you understand like how that's weird, right? That you are basically saying that you have two personas and like you can just tell us whatever you want and say, oh, well, that's my character. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, it's like it is almost like a insanity plea, sort of, even though he's the one that is prosecuting, because he's like he has like a split personality. Like, what the fuck? What is he like? What does that even mean? I don't know. Yeah, so that's the basis of the lawsuit, is that he it's an invasion of his privacy.
Yeah.
Despite him being out in public, like seemingly not giving a fuck and joking about it.
Yeah.
So they go to court and they sue Gawker for $100 million in damages. So there's lots of charges that are leveled against Gawker by Hulk Hogan, not just like the invasion of privacy thing, but like a lot of different charges.
What to sue for $100,000 in damage?
$100 million.
I mean, $100 million in damages. Doesn't like what's damage need to be worth that much? Like his career was not worth that much. He did not have the money to even be like, dude, like.
Well, yeah. Well, so that's the case that they have to make, is that it caused emotional distress was what one of the original charges was. Mm-hmm. So, and in any other, this is what's crazy about this case. In any other case where some sort of like emotional distress has been caused, they don't even try to sue for this much money.
Yeah.
Like this is like an obscene amount of money. But what ended up happening is that at some point they dropped that one of the main original charges of negligent infliction of emotional distress was like one of the main charges. And they dropped that charge, which is crazy because that was like the kind of the crux of the whole thing. And that's what would get him the most money. Mm-hmm. is this charge. So everybody's like, that's weird. Hulk Hogan is not in great financial straits at this point. He's in bad financial straits. He's broke.
Yeah.
And he has this case going on. So by dropping this charge, it's strange.
Yeah.
Because you'd get way more money. But what ends up happening is that if Gawker was found guilty of the negligent infliction of emotional distress, that would be covered by Gawker's insurance policy. Mm-hmm. And dropping this charge basically, and going off of all the other charges, made it impossible for Gawker to have their insurance cover. So then it was just coming straight out of their coffers.
Like when Hulk Hogan dropped the emotional part of the lawsuit, like the emotional damages, the insurance dropped their coverage of this lawsuit, essentially.
Yeah.
So that was Gawker and Nick Denton, the owner of the company, as
personally liable. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's fucking
exactly
crazy.
So everybody's like, wow, that's a really weird move to make, since Hulk Hogan's like broke and needs as much money as he can get. Why would they do that? It's like, it was like a surefire thing. Like Gawker's like, sure, no problem.
Yeah.
If you want to sue us for this, our insurance will take care of it. But then they drop that charge. Bam. He's now personally liable. So ends up going through the trial, Gawker loses, and the total damages awarded to Hulk Hogan end up being around $140 million, despite everything. So the size of the award is very, very excessive, and it's like not even anything close to what is awarded to anyone in anything, any kind of, even if it was like a wrongful death lawsuit. That's not a common amount of money to award to anyone.
Yeah, it's very high.
It's extremely high. So this almost completely bankrupts Gawker Media. Oh, and in the meantime, Hulk Hogan's he wasn't a defendant. His attorney slate grew. Like, he had all these like really high power attorneys, not just the one with the bad hairpiece.
Yeah.
He, as the case went on, he had many other lawyers. And everybody was like, what the fuck? How is he paying for this? Like, this is weird.
Yeah, like, is this a contingency case where, like, they're only going to get paid if they win or whatever?
Right, yeah. So it was kind of some weird circumstances around it. But, and it was the whole thing. I don't know. I don't even remember how much people are paying attention to it. But it ended up being kind of like not headline news that they lost this case, and that they almost went bankrupt from it. They eventually do go bankrupt, but they're trying to keep it all together after the trial. But Nick Denton, in the meantime, is just like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, this seems strange. Other people are kind of like, what? This is weird.
It is weird.
Why was the full court press like so hard on Gawker when it wasn't even that? It seemed it wasn't innocuous. Of course, it was shitty and fucked up what they did.
Yeah.
But it was just like overkill almost, like, to sue them for this much money and to have it to drop that charge for Hulk Hogan was very strange.
Yeah.
So Nick Denton and some other people are like, something weird is happening here. And there's conspiracy theories going around that somebody is funding the law team for Hulk Hogan.
Yeah. Someone with a lot of money.
Someone with a lot of money, because these lawyers that he had were not cheap.
And if someone's doing that, they must have some sort of vendetta.
Yeah.
Also, so I just want to make sure this is clear too. So Gawker, like, in terms of like the damages and what was owed to Hulk Hogan, Gawker was responsible for a chunk. The biggest chunk. Nick Denton was personally responsible for a chunk, like $10 million. And then the guy who wrote the article, I think AJ Daddario, I think that's his name. He was also responsible for like $100,000. So like, these people were held responsible and had to like pay this. Essentially, it's crazy. It's crazy.
It's crazy that a lawsuit about an invasion of privacy became so personal.
Yeah.
And so excessive.
Yeah.
So, and also in the notes here, the judge in the case was very biased too.
Oh, yes. I think in the documentary is very good, and the writer AJ, right in the like beginning of when they're talking about the trial, is like, it always felt off. Like, this judge didn't allow them, the defense, like Gawker, they weren't allowed to like present some of the things that they wanted to present. The judge like didn't let them do that. They weren't allowed to put Bubba the Love Sponge as a witness or whatever, like
on the stand.
Yeah. And the judge like made some decisions that from the get-go were just like kind of weird. Like,
yeah, because if you take everything into consideration after the fact, that like they had this whole thing kind of, it was all, everybody was in on it.
Yeah.
How could you sue for that much money? Like, it doesn't make any sense that he won so hard.
No, especially
like he dunked on Gawker, like, even though like the case could have been made very much the opposite way.
He chair slammed on them.
Yeah.
He had him up against the ropes.
It was Hulkamania.
Dude, it fucking was. Oh man, it's so much about this is so confusing to me because like why the judge supposedly was like, oh, you can't like this is too high, you can't ask for that in damages like to the jury, but then like allowed this to happen anyway. And
I know.
there's like all this weird stuff, like the jury was really upset by it. It happened in Gawker was tried in Florida because that's where Hulk Hogan is, and he was like a local superstar and everyone loved him, and like it just felt like there was a lot of bias already when this all started.
Yeah.
And it wasn't good.
Yeah. So going back to that whole conspiracy theory that Nick Denton and some other people had about how there's some shadow funder for the trial, turned out to be right.
There fucking was.
I don't know if you guys know who Peter Thiel is, but he is a massive tech billionaire. He's one of the co-founders of PayPal, early investor in Facebook, and he fucking hated Gawker. Hated Gawker with a passion.
Yeah.
So, I don't know how many people watch Silicon Valley.
Oh, yeah.
On HBO, but in the first season, the like main adversarial boss guy.
I feel like his name was Peter.
Yeah, maybe.
In the show.
I don't know. Well, Mike Judge based that character off of Peter Thiel.
Yeah.
Who's just like a hardcore fucking dude.
Yeah.
And I guess too, you could even say that the guy that they have, that's what's his name on
Gavin Belson?
Gavin Belson is
Yeah.
kind of that character now too. That's morphed into Peter Thiel.
Just
character.
like has an agenda and like will do whatever it takes to like
Well, yeah, we'll spend any
get
amount
it
of money.
to live out. Yeah.
Yes, he's single-minded when it comes to this stuff. So he basically he hated Gawker because about 8 or 9 years before the Hulk Hogan trial, Gawker and Gawker's sister publication Valleywag, Valleywag is a Silicon Valley gossip column. I think they even have a iteration of it on Silicon Valley, the show.
Yeah.
That publishes kind of salacious stories about the insider world, tech world.
Yeah.
About like these kind of weird personalities.
Salacious but true.
Yeah.
Usually very much true, and people get upset about that.
Mm-hmm. And they scoop people doing shitty stuff. And,
yeah.
So yeah.
And acting like big fucking babies. I feel like there's so much. Oh God, Silicon Valley and just all the people with money there are crazy.
Listen, I worked at a startup for a while, and the startup I worked for was wonderful and great. But you go into when you go to do funding rounds and stuff like that with venture capitalists, and there's a lot of and doing like pitch competitions and stuff. There's just like, it's such a weird world. It is a weird world. Anyway, so Peter Thiel is he got really pissed at Valleywag and Gawker because they definitely published stories about him and his rich friends.
Yeah.
And it pissed him the fuck off.
Well, they outed him.
They did out him. He's Peter Thiel is gay.
Yeah.
It was like kind of a open secret sort of thing.
Yeah.
And they did out him, which was very, very shitty.
Yeah. Gawker was kind of known for doing that. I feel like this was around the same time, too, that, like, Perez Hilton had been doing that and, like, stopped doing it because it just isn't, like, a thing.
Well, let Gawker be a fucking cautionary tale.
Dude,
if this is the kind of route you want to go.
Yeah. And I feel like Peter Denton what's his name?
Nick Denton.
Nick Denton made a comment in the documentary about like how, but like celebrities' personal lives are like usually fair games. Like we talk about who straight people date. Why wouldn't we talk about who gay people date? But I think it was a different time, and maybe he feels that way. But like the world isn't, as like open as it should be and all that stuff, and so it just feels icky.
That was. I think that was shitty, very, very shitty.
Yeah.
They should never have done that.
Yeah.
But that was like the main reason he was very pissed off at Gawker. So, yeah, it's just it's a weird environment in Silicon Valley, and there's so much money, and it's not, Peter Thiel was not the one. He was not the one to fuck with.
No.
But what he essentially ended up doing by funding this trial for Hulk Hogan, by funding his entire legal team,
Lawsuit, yeah.
his entire lawsuit was just to fuck over Gawker, but he also essentially paid off the judicial system.
Yeah.
Like it was a exercise in manipulating our court system.
Yeah. It was someone who had a lot of money and power and influence being like, I don't like this. I'm going to use every avenue I have and all my money, and I'm going to show you guys, like,
Yep.
And I'm going to make you pay, essentially.
Yeah. And boy, did he. So it's really weird because he's a hardcore libertarian. And he has a lot of Peter Thiel he has a lot of very eccentric ideas about democracy in general. So that's already kind of interesting. He also has a lot of interesting ideas about extending human life. He doesn't believe there's such a thing as racism, and
wrote a book about it.
Yeah, he wrote a book about it, which is absolute garbage.
Yeah, hot garbage.
And he kind of believes in general lawlessness because of the libertarian aspect of his philosophy, his personal philosophy.
Like wants to build a compound out in the middle of the ocean where there's no...
Just like Silicon Valley.
That's... Yeah, oh yeah, where Jared gets trapped in that car going out there.
The electric car. Yeah. Back to Peter Thiel.
Yeah.
So he also, just so you know, he owns a company called Palantir, which is basically another Cambridge Analytica.
Oh.
Like, that's kind of like they do the same sort of
sketchy business deals.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. Sort of like gathering data, like the data of people.
I hope Zuckerberg has like an eye on him and because he's also invested in Facebook. So
yeah, I mean that's the thing. His tentacles are on everything.
Ugh.
So that's what happens when you have a lot of money and you're like the fucking big boss in Silicon Valley, and these companies are in so many different corners of our lives.
But that's what happens when you when you have like a power complex and you want your agenda pushed. Because
right.
Aren't there Bill Gates has so much money and he's probably invested in so many different companies, and same with like Warren Buffett and stuff, right? But they don't have these like power agendas.
Right, and that's the thing. They're actually like good people, and they're, you know, they push for things that benefit our world, not just personal vendetta kind of things.
Yeah.
So, I mean, honestly, this is the stuff that I can't believe people who earnestly believe in the Illuminati, like, how can you not why would you not pay attention to somebody like this?
Yeah.
And be like, this is the real power broker who is fucking up people's worlds.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, that's fair. I feel like this is actually happening and is documented.
This is real life. Like this person gamed the judicial system, basically. And it's almost a pretty overwhelming like violation of the First Amendment.
Yeah.
So
they played our judicial system and did something that's like unprecedented, should never have happened, should never have won. This is what's so interesting to me. I do remember people writing about this, like when it was happening, especially when the verdict came in. Because it's just one of those things, kind of like Donald Trump becoming president, like where people are like interested in it, but they're kind of like, in the beginning, it's like, oh yeah, Gawker's being sued for posting this thing. Like they probably shouldn't be getting sued. That's, they should be protected under the First Amendment, but blah, 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 whatever. And then it just keeps like building steam. And then it happens and people are like, how did this happen? Like that means that any publication can be sued now, essentially, like for posting something that is actual, like an actual event that happened or content that happened, and someone can come and be like, oh well, I mean I didn't mean for that, or I don't know, it's just like it blurs the line, right?
Right, it does. And it also shows that if you have enough money, you can sway a verdict in your favor.
Yeah.
And in this case, it was such a massive verdict. So Gawker eventually went bankrupt. Gawker.com does not exist anymore. I mean, you can Google Gawker.com and it's like they have archived articles and whatnot, but
it's no longer operating.
It's no longer operating. It's not being updated.
Yeah.
There are the other brands under Gawker Media are Gizmodo, Lifehacker, Jezebel, Kotaku, Jalopnik, and Deadspin. Mm-hmm. Those all were purchased by Univision for $135 million. So that I think helped
pay for the bankruptcy.
A majority of the bankruptcy for the lawsuit. And they had to fold. And I think in this documentary, you can get the flavor of the bitterness that is left from this by the writers that they interviewed that used to write for Gawker and Nick Denton, and you can kind of get the it's kind of scary because they do go into like what this means for the First Amendment and for media and for journalism, and how this ended up being what some believe one of the most important First Amendment cases of all time. Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah. I think there's other people too, like that are. This is like what is cool about it in a way is that like there's other journalists from like Washington Post and New York Times and stuff like that who are like, this absolutely should not have happened. Like we should all be upset that this happened. It doesn't matter that it was Gawker and they talked about fucking Hulk Hogan's wiener and like showed it or whatever. Like that's not the point. The point is that it was free speech. They can say these things and they shouldn't, if they are factual and they can be fact checked, like just saying Peter Thiel is a gay man. That's a fact.
In the Hulk Hogan tape, it's like, this is a thing that happened.
Yeah.
They should have never been sued into oblivion. What they should have been sued for was maybe invasion of privacy and the personal damages, which could have been paid out by their insurance. That was fair and correct, but not for the extent of what it was. Yeah. So it's just, it was bad. It's bad that this happened.
It's so weird to me that it's so weird to me that no one with like just as much money on the other side of things, I mean, maybe there isn't anyone, but like, you almost need like a Randolph Hearst or something with a ton of money on the other side to be like, no, this is all fact checked. This was content that was sold to us or shared to us by an anonymous source. Mm-hmm. Someone leaked it. It was one of the three of you involved. Like it's your own beef. No one should even be coming after it. It's weird that there wasn't someone on the other side to like go up against this dude.
Yeah, I think like we were saying earlier, it's just one of those things of where you see it happening and you're like, there's no way, or this doesn't seem like it's going to be that big of a deal or whatever. And then it happens. Yeah. And the verdict comes down and they get sued into oblivion and it's like, oh fuck, what the fuck? How did this happen? Oh. So basically though, the moral of the story is that like limiting media from doing their jobs, even if they're portraying somebody in an unflattering light, is dangerous. Yeah. Like you can't do that. We cannot do that. Like this is what our country is founded on, is the First Amendment. So
Yeah.
If we don't have open and free press, we're in very big trouble.
But where is the line? Because this made me think of the whole Sandy Hook thing. Like, you know how those parents of the victims of Sandy Hook are like grouping together and suing Alex Jones and InfoWars? Like, we need to be like very clear on what is journalism and what is reporting of the facts and what is entertainment. And it needs to be like very clear.
Yeah.
You know, that like you have to like caveat that this is not, there's no evidence for what I'm saying to you. It's a conspiracy theory. It's total hot garbage versus here's a source that has this piece of information, you know, like how is this going to move forward? It's like,
well, anything that can influence somebody's thinking and cause them to actually inflict harm on another person.
Yeah.
Like that's the response. You have to be responsible. That's why responsible journalism is so important. So, and I guess we're into our final thoughts and feelings here. Yeah. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's really scary.
Yeah.
When it comes down to it. Like, I wouldn't obsess about all the fucking flat earth shit or the Illuminati, all those conspiracy theories. Like, there is some real shit happening right now that is like, if you don't pay attention to it, it has major ramifications for other things down the road.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, it's a lot.
Yeah. Singular people who have enough money to shut down whatever press is out there about them, willy-nilly as they choose, and people who are wealthy enough to buy entire media companies, like Sheldon Adelson is somebody they mentioned in the documentary who just basically took over an entire newspaper, I think in Arizona, or Las Vegas, Nevada, yeah. And all the journalists there were just like, what the fuck? And had to band together to come out against it. And then the Sinclair Media thing that just came out where all the news, it's like the local news stations were bought up by Sinclair Media and they're repeating the same message about fake news and all that. You haven't seen that?
No.
Oh, it's really creepy. John Oliver did a piece on it.
Oh, this week?
Oh, it was like a few weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
This came out like a few weeks ago where it's like they're all in tandem saying it. Like I forget who did it. Maybe Gizmodo did it.
Oh.
Actually, come to think of it. Where they took the clips from each local newscaster that was saying the pre. Yeah, it's creepy as fuck. It's like some 1984 shit.
Oh my God.
So this is what happens though when like these individual people can gain control of the media. And then that's why you as a consumer need to be very diligent about what you're watching, paying attention to, consuming, to make sure that you're not getting a one-sided message. Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. Fuck Alex Jones.
Oh my God. Fuck that guy so hard in the face. I hate that guy. Oh my God. We didn't even cover the fact that there was more than one sex tape, one of which had significant racial slurs coming from Hulk Hogan on it.
That's right.
Like, oh, bitch, which character is this? Is this Hulk or Terry, bud?
Yeah.
Because, is Hulk Hogan fucking your friend's wife and using racial slurs, or is this Mr. Terry?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. This whole thing is such a mess. And the fact that it, like that it saved Hulk Hogan and, like, awarded him all this money just disgusts me to no end.
It's rough. This was a rough time.
Yeah.
And, I don't know. Yeah. It sucks. It's fucked up. It's super fucked up.
Fucked up.
I again, highly recommend everybody watch the Netflix documentary, Nobody Speak. And read Nick Denton's like farewell post on Gawker.
If you just go to Gawker.com, it's like, what's there?
Yeah. he goes into detail about the whole case and
Yeah.
Peter Thiel and the whole what it means for journalism. And I mean, I don't know. I don't think he wasn't like they fucked up. They did some shitty stuff, but
dude, yeah,
it was not. It did not deserve this level of fuckery to happen.
Like, looking back, it's like maybe you just have taken the video down and left the article up or something.
Yeah.
Like,
but they're just such fucking assholes.
Yeah, they're like, no, we want you to be able to see Hulk Hogan's wiener.
Yeah. Oh, it's a bummer.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
On that note, that's all I got on this whole shit show.
Yeah, on this Hulk shit show.
The Hulkamania. Well, follow us on all the things at DTFU Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
We got Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We got a website, dtfupodcast.com. Mm-hmm. You can just go to that website and you can find all the stuff. There's all kinds of things on there.
Oh my God.
We have a video that Nicole did, the Arraigning Men video is on there.
We have shirts.
We have shirts. We have stickers. We have links to all the different ways you can listen to the podcast. If Stitcher's your jam, there's a link to click on to find that.
Love it.
If another thing is your jam, there's all kinds of stuff. There's a whole story about us on there. It's great.
It's great. It's a great place to spend your time since there's no Gawker.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And there's no comment section, although you can write us a note on there and we'll get it. It'll go to our email for the podcast. Yeah.
Love it.
Cool. Awesome. Well, guys, be excellent.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.